Hi guys, welcome to ZJ-BOOKIT-AND-READ. So today I am going to give a quick review to the ever popular, as is shown on Netflix, The Witcher. So this is the first book, this is The Last Wish. Okay, so I'm gonna give a go because I've asked my husband several times and I still can't figure out how to say it properly. So I really apologise to the author. I think you're a brilliant author. I just still can't say your name right. So I'm just gonna say Andrzej Sapkowski. Sapkowski. Am I saying that right? You'll correct me if it annoys you too much. Please do. So New York Times bestseller. I've seen on Netflix. Okay. I really enjoy this cover because it isn't all gloss. It's like matted with just like the few bits and then glossed out, as you can kind of see from the light reflecting off of it. So most of you, not all, but most of you have probably watched The Witcher on Netflix, so you'll kind of have a gist. You'll have a gist of what goes on in the books. Most of you have not watched Netflix, but have played the game. The game is awesome. But anyway, so I'm going to read a little bit of the blurb and everything like that. Most of you already know what's going on anyway. So he uses his legendary powers and lifelong training to protect the innocent by hunting the vile fiends that ravage the land. But not all monsters are evil, and not everything fair is good. Okay, so The Last Wish is the first book in the set of the Witcher world, so in the epic world of The Witcher. I really enjoyed it. So I definitely see why they've taken it and made it into a game and then made it into a series on Netflix and everything from there. And obviously the casting is fantastic, if I do say so myself. Henry Cavill. Anyway, so there will be some spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, please go that way or that way. Whichever way your door is, basically. Okay, so I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I thought it was really well done. I really, really enjoyed the more in-depth knowledge I got of The Witcher from this. So obviously with books, when it comes to books and games and television, they never put everything that is in the book in the show. So it was, I'm one of those people. I watched the first episode of Witcher first before I started reading the book, and I was like, oh no, I'd like to know more. So I read the book. It took me like a day and a half to read it. So it's still quite a big book, but it's, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the characters were quite well thought out. I enjoyed getting to know The Witcher a lot more. And obviously to get to know the situation and to understand it. It got a little bit confusing for some of the parts. You got to be prepared for it to go like here, then here, then here, then here, like in the show, because it does kind of do that in the book. So, but it was a really good read. I did really enjoy it. It definitely kept me into it. I didn't really sleep properly for like a day. So just because I was so into it, it was like, oh, next chapter. I'll go to bed after the next chapter. So I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think that Geralt of Rivia is definitely a really interesting character. And I cannot wait to keep reading the books and to see how he grows from that. What was it? This last part. What is it? I want to just read it to you. So, okay. Ignore it if you don't want to listen to it. So, Iola still... I can never say this right. Dandelion, pale as a sheet, sighed deeply. Nanette raised herself to her knees and stood with an effort. Take her away, she said to the pupils. There was more of them now. They gathered, grave and silent. Take her, repeated the priestess carefully. And don't leave her alone. I'll be there in a minute. She turned to Geralt. The Witcher was standing motionless, fiddling with the reins in his sweaty hands. Geralt, Iola, don't say anything, Nanette. I saw it too. For a moment, Geralt, don't go. I've got to. Did you see that? Yes, and not for the first time. And there's no point in looking over your shoulder. Don't go, please. I've got to. See to Iola. So long, Nanette. The priestess slowly shook her head, sniffed, and, in an abrupt move, wiped the tears away with her wrist. Farewell, she whispered, not looking him in the eye. What a way to end a fucking book, really? But obviously it goes on from there. But it was like, as soon as I finished reading it, I just wanted to bash my head up against the wall. So I've ordered the second one, and hopefully that will come like tomorrow. So it was a really good book. I definitely think everyone should give it a read at least once, especially if you don't go off and say, oh, I've watched Netflix, so I know. You don't know. So just read the book. So I'm going to give this a ZJ-BOOKIT-AND-READ scoring of 4 out of 5. Yes. There are some parts which I thought were just like, oh, really? I just, I wanted to know more, and I just felt like it didn't give enough. But as a whole, I thoroughly enjoyed the book, and I fully intend to read it again. Not yet, but I am definitely going to read it again. So I really hope you have enjoyed my review and my little read. And please keep watching, and more reviews are to come. So, peace out.